So, when you hear of names that are robbed of the NXT Women's Championship, you may hear names like Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Becky Lynch. Alexa Bliss fans may say Alexa Bliss. I've heard some Carmella fans say Carmella. I've seen Nia Jax, and I've seen Shotzi. So as far as Shotzi, being not holding the NXT Women's Championship and being robbed of the NXT Women's Championship, I personally don't think she was robbed. But I understand why people will say I feel like Shotzi was robbed of holding the NXT Women's Championship. Like if somebody said to me, in my opinion, I just feel like Shotzi should have held the NXT Women's Championship. I feel like she would have been a great NXT Women's Champion. I can understand why you would say that because Shotzi in NXT, she was really good. But in my opinion, I feel like Shotzi, as far as as a tag team wrestler, Shotzi was great. Like she was doing great in her tag team matches. Her performances always stood out to me. I loved her performances. She took crazy bumps. Incredible. But as the NXT Women's Champion, you're a singles champion. So you're really relying on yourself unless you so happen to be mid and you gotta rely on your opponent. But Shotzi wasn't mid in NXT. In my opinion, she wasn't. If you think she's mid, that's you. But in my opinion, she was not mid in NXT at all. But as a singles champion, I feel like Shotzi would have put up not great matches. I feel like she would have put up good matches. And I say that because Shotzi, as a singles competitor, she got to wrestle Io Shirai while she was NXT Women's Champion. She made her debut against Bianca Belair. She got a match against Shayna Baszler while Shayna Baszler was in NXT. And Shayna had just lost the title. She got a match against Candice LeRae, a singles match. I believe she got a singles match against Dakota Kai and Toni Storm before. I might be wrong. If I am, then she didn't. And I believe she got a singles match with Raquel Gonzalez, or known as Raquel Rodriguez now, but I say Gonzalez because I'm used to calling her that. I believe she got a singles match with her as well. And a whole bunch of other women who she's had singles matches against. And all those matches, to me at least, were not great. They were just they were good. Good, and if they were just kind of off, maybe decent. But overall, good. Good. Shotzi, in my opinion, she was a good wrestler. She was a good singles wrestler. She put up good matches against even great wrestlers and good wrestlers of on the same level as her. I feel like when it comes to tag teams, her performances stand out a lot because it's multiple women. I feel like Shotzi's one of those wrestlers where she's at her best in multi-women's matches, whether it be a tag team match or a Royal Rumble or a Battle Royal. She'll stand out because or a War Games match. She stands out because it's a multi-woman match. If it's a singles match, I feel like she's kind of restricted because she doesn't really know how to stand out as much as she does in a tag team match or, just a multi-woman match in general. That's just my opinion. Just from what I've seen, she has not really put up match of the year contender singles matches in NXT compared to her tag team matches. And before y'all say, well, you need to watch her in the indies. I've watched Shotzi in the indies, multiple matches at that. I've seen her in a triple threat. I've seen her in a singles match, and I believe a tag team match. And I still have the same opinion. I think she's great in multi-women's matches. I feel like she actually improved in NXT compared to the indies. I feel like she was better in NXT than she was in her indies days. But even in the indies, I say the same thing, good in singles matches, good in multi-women's matches, arguably great if you just based off of preference. I feel like she improved in NXT and put up better multi-women matches in NXT than she did in the indies, but that's just me. Yeah, that's just me. So as far as being robbed of the NXT Women's Championship, again, I understand why people say that, but in NXT around the era that she was in NXT during the black and gold era, so they focused more on wrestling skill and I wouldn't say popularity, but they do focus more on wrestling skill. And I feel like with Shotzi, I feel like she would have been a good NXT Women's Champion. I wouldn't have mind if she held it. But do I think she was robbed? No, I don't. I really don't. When I look back at NXT, I understand why now they gave her the tag team belt with Ember Moon, and they just were like, we're not giving you the NXT Women's Championship. I understand why. But I also understand why fans wanted her to hold the title as well, because I feel like she would have been, again, a good NXT Women's Champion. But for them to be like, okay, you're going to be a tag champ and you're going to go to the main roster, I understand why they did it, because I hate to say it, but I feel like Shotzi's one of those wrestlers who's like a wrestler who benefits more in a tag team than a single star. She has single star potential. I do agree with that as well. But I feel like she's just at her best in, again, multi-women's matches. And so her being in a tag team and her finding more success in tag teams than being a singles competitor, it makes sense. As a single star, when she was putting up matches and wrestling people, it was like it was good matches. It was just like, you know, she did good, a good job. You know, she's gonna be something. She's gonna be a champion one day. You can see the potential. But as a tag team, like in tag team matches, multi-women matches, fatal four-ways, battle royals, you're like, whoa, like look at Shotzi, like that's crazy. Like look at her. She's taking bumps. She's going through tables. She's going through barricades. She's being thrown off the stage. She's diving off the stage. She's doing all this crazy stuff. So it's just like, was she really robbed, or is it more so like a preference? If someone said Bianca Belair was robbed of the NXT Women's Championship, it makes 100% logical sense, and not just because she's black. She was the full package. I still don't understand why she was not NXT Women's Champion. But with Shotzi, she's a POC as well. Some could say it was racially motivated, but I hate to say, but I don't think it was racially motivated. I just think it was because she just was not there as far as being an NXT Women's Champion yet, but she had potential to be there as far as what NXT was looking for. But I understand, like I said before, I understand why they gave her the tag team belt with Ember Moon. I like her reign with Ember. My favorite, well, they're my second favorite NXT Women's Tag Team Champions now, because Kaden and Casey have been doing a really good job as NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. I'm going to talk about that in the future. But yeah, as far as winning the NXT Women's Championship, I don't really think Shotzi was necessarily robbed, but I understand why people say she was robbed. I do think Shotzi in NXT was really good as far as, like, you know, her performances compared to now. Like, on the main roster, she's not really as good as she was in NXT, but again, it's, you know, mental health, I feel like, is really the reason behind that. That's just my opinion. Not trying to bash her at all. I feel like that's why. But that's my video. I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, I'm not really mad that she didn't hold it. I kind of understand why, like I said before, and I'm glad she held a title in NXT before she got caught up. I just wish she got caught up with Ember Moon versus Tegan Nox, but that's a topic for another day. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's my video.